Welcome back to another episode. This week I almost injured myself with the angle grinder again. And I try speaking English. And attached to this itolator toggle. Area left to figure out is along the edges. I think on the 206 body shell it wraps around the sides towards the back of the car, so I will need to come up with some kind of gutter system so the water that runs down the windscreen can escape. Next I'm going to install this plate up under the dashboard, and I want to put some black tape over the silver foil on the air duct. Just having a sort out and cleaning out some parts. This is the replacement intake pipe. To take the wiper out so I can get the last couple of rivets into the plate that I installed under the dashboard. Next I'll make an aluminium bracket that will hold the back of the wiper motor assembly. This should stop the entire unit flexing back and forth and potentially damaging the fine threads for the wiper arms. On builds like this, it's always the little things that you don't think about and take the time. Just fabricating this simple bracket and drilling it through the bulkhead and setting it up right to hold the wiper blade has taken about an hour. It's something you won't see, but they are generally the things that take the time. Just simple things like making a spacer to stop play in the bolt on that bracket takes some time. The mechanism is completely solid now with that bracket on the back. The only thing left to do is to finish off the wiring and put the wiper blades on once the windscreen is installed. I now have the correct size tap for the repair on the power steering pump mount. I didn't have any joy with the M10 by 1.2, they didn't send me a tapered tap. They sent me two flat bottom tap, there should have been a tapered one. I tried making a tapered one but it doesn't work. I'm going to use an M10 by 1mm thread, it seems to be working much better. It just means I need to get the correct bolt. There's a large hole on the passenger and driver side that goes straight down into the sill, so as I build up the car I don't want to drop anything in there and not be able to get it out, so that's why I've put some silver tape over there to cover it. I have also sealed off the underside of this panel. When you get to this point in a build, it's hard to tell what order to put things in the car. You don't want to make things harder for yourself putting things in nearer the end. I think I can get the steering column in and the center console. When I first get the car going, I don't plan to have a fire suppression system, therefore I'm not going to install this cable on the control panel here. When you buy an extinguisher system, it comes with a cable. That being said, I will use this one for the bulkhead and leave this blank for now. I'm just going to loosely bolt it in for now in case I need to take it back out to put the gear stick in. The next thing I need to figure out is how I will install the electrical cut-off cable. This is the cable that will run down through the bulkhead and attach to the isolator on-off switch. With a slightly smarter setup, this should work well. For those of you who are installing a cable but don't have anything to mount it down, this is a 3/16 brake line fitting. It hugs the cable really well and does the job. I now need to remove this again because it needs to be installed in the bulkhead before it can be fastened to this console. You can see it's a super tight fit with the ducting. I'm not that keen on having this ducting underneath the steering column. I will take this vent apart and see if I can route the pipe over the top of the column. This creates a lot more legroom. I'm just checking I have everything I need for the steering boss and the spacers. I have taken the contact ring out of the main boss as I don't need it. This means I can extend the threads and wind the bolts in even further. This should help to make it a bit stronger. Next, I'm making the backing plate to hold the buttons for the steering wheel. With consideration of limited vision to the dashboard display, I'm not going to put any buttons in the top cutout. However, I've decided to go for 4. There will be 2 either side on the bottom cutout. There are a couple of reasons why I'm using steel rather than aluminium or polycarbonate. I need it thin enough to have enough thread to bolt the buttons to this plate. I need it nice and strong, and potentially I will need to weld some brackets to the back to hold the wiring.
As I have increased the gap between the back of the steering wheel and the top of the boss, I'm going to get some larger screws. Before I finish off this bracket completely and paint it, I need to get the curly coil and see how it's going to be mounted at the bottom somewhere. As I said before, if I need to weld any brackets for the wiring, I'll do that before I finish this piece off.